Welcome back. It's time to get into today's project with John.
What we're looking at here today is the SlideMoor boat docking system, what we believe to be the best docking system on the market. Our system will secure your boat tight to one side only to our sliding bumper cleat system, eliminating bumping, banging, and other damage movements, securing it through waves, wind, and tides.
Welcome back. Who we now have on the program is John Greviskis, and John is the owner of a company called SlideMoor, and I have personally owned a set of your SlideMoors at my dock in Jupiter, Florida for a little over 14 years. And guys, I'm telling you, this is a great solution for docking for any pleasure boater out there. And I kind of call it the marriage,
Saver.
solver, whatever, because one of the last things your wife wants to do, and trust me from experience, last thing my wife wants to do is get on the bow of a boat and with a boat hook worry about bow lines, okay, as you're trying to back into the slip. Let's talk a little bit about tide swings.
Sure.
Okay, here in Jupiter, Florida, I believe our tide swing is like 2.5 to 3 feet. You're in Naples, Florida. What's the tide in the Gulf?
Same conditions, 2.5 to 3, but then you can have a surge, your typical storm, you could go 5+.
And it's my understanding that you make this docking device for any type of tide condition. Is that correct? What's the different lengths that you make for the varying tides?
Yeah, so we have about an 8-foot track is our standard for Florida that allows 6 feet or so of movement.
Okay.
We can do up to 20 feet.
This is really cool, guys. Let's look at the componentry that makes up the SlideMoor.
Absolutely. So we have a track and a slide component that marry. We have our Y-beam extrusion here. Custom extrusion that allows you to wrap around a piling, allows for an easier installation.
Okay, so the piling is rounded and they all vary from piling to piling.
Yep.
This will take the curve of the piling.
Yes.
Okay, and then on this end,
This
what
would be
tracks?
Your slide would go on top of here, and you can see in here that we have a bearing surface that wraps the entire slide called Carolon. It's a glass or nylon composite that would be maintenance free, no lubrication whatsoever.
Okay, now guys, when your boat is tied right up to this bumper right here, there's no inertia for any crashing, okay? All that happens is this slightly compresses and it will not harm your boat at all.
Really quiets it down. We truly believe to be a 24/7 peace of mind solution.
Could we talk a little bit about how easy it is to board a boat when you have a set of SlideMoors versus, it's away from the dock, maybe you have a little kid and they try to jump onto the boat and they fall short and they go in between the boat and the pier. Okay, that's scary.
Yeah.
This is right up against the dock where people can just walk down the dock, step right into the boat, board very, very easily.
Yep.
Okay, this is a really great invention. Now, at my dock, I have 2 SlideMoors. Is that typical for most pleasure boats?
That would be the typical application. You would use 2 typically on your midship and stern, or any other configuration that works for your dock.
Okay, so if we were to go through an installation in Florida, I would have an 8-foot rail, okay? And you do want these, somewhat vertical up and down, so you might want to use a level. But how would we mount these?
Sure, we have a couple different options for you. We have either through bolting or lagging options. We have a lag bolt here, 6-inch would be our typical. We have 2 bolts every 2 feet that you can secure the track.
If you're going to be lagging, guys, you want to use a 1/4-inch pilot hole, and you also might want to use pneumatic if you have it. If you don't, in a ratchet and a socket, I mean, you might get it in, but you might need some, air pressure behind it just to, kind of drill that in.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about how to tie now the boat up to the SlideMoors, because this is different. Most conventional, you've done this for 25 years, traditionally. This is a lot different, but it's a lot easier. Show everybody this little display over here, John.
Sure. So this is simulating your boat pulling into your slip, where you'd marry up the cleat and the rub rail with your SlideMoor system. Typically, it's going to be a 2-point system where you have a midship and stern tie. You tie it between your SlideMoor, your boat cleat, and then the second SlideMoor cleat here. Finish that off, and that's it. Now you're going to move up and down, secured. There's no bumping and banging, and now you're inches off the dock.
Okay. How much would a set of 8-footers run a consumer in Florida?
You're looking about $1,800.
Okay, I'm really thinking this would solve a lot of problems out there, and I am highly recommending this device. Where could people get more information on SlideMoor, and where could they actually purchase these?
You can search us online, SlideMoor.com, also through a number of marine distributors, and also Home Depot online.
Let's talk about guys that might rent a slip, okay, and they can't drill through a piling. Okay, because I really want to get into this device, and I kind of saw it on your display over there. How does this work to where we don't drill into the wood?
Sure. So if you don't want to go through one of our contractors or builders, about 200 across the nation, you can use what we call the reinstallation package. This would band around the piling as you see here and clamp down. So really great for transient slips and other marine applications.
Man, John, this is so cool. We need to go to break, but thank you so much for being on the program.
Thanks for having me,
We'll
John.
be right back.